for being off camera there. I was just trying to get some stuff organised. Hello, Antcraft. How are you? And hello to Michael as well. Michael's also on chat if you want to say hello. I'm all tangled up. I've got cables going everywhere. Fun. And I'm just trying to get my track IR set up because, you know, I'm just organised. Right, that looks good enough to me. It's more or less centred.
Hello.
There's the Michael. How is Canada today? Yeah, that looks like it'll work. And we're visiting Japan today. And I'm playing with, and I haven't decided whether I like it or not, this thing, RW Enhancer 2. You can help me decide.
So.
And what are we running first? We're running the Sound of Spring first because we like cherries. Well, cherry blossoms specifically. So I just select the scenario and this is... Hello NJTE as well. Glad you're well, Antcraft. I, on the other hand, have got another cold. Yay! At least it's not COVID. Yeah, this thing... One of the silly things is you go, okay, I've selected my scenario and do all that, and you go, drive now, and you think it would start Train Simulator and wake it up and do all that because it's got an API. But no, guess what you have to do now? You actually have to go into Train Simulator and do exactly the same thing. That's okay. And we're going to run the Sound of Spring. And then RW Enhancer goes, ooh, you're running a scenario. I know what to do. Well, it will anyway. So, just while that's happening, the railway we're running on opened in 1928 as the Aizu Railway. Aha, okay. Welcome to the Tadami Line today in this spring afternoon. This is way loud for me. I'll just turn it down so I don't scream at you. You will drive train number 427D to Aizu. Bang. I hope you enjoy the cherry blossoms and scenery from city to the open field. I am also running Rail Driver, but you can't see it today. Alright then, now we have to say begin service with this as well. I'm using two elements of their HUD. I'm not sure I like the one on the left yet, we'll see. But I do like the one that's down the bottom. But anyway, open some doors. And my head tracker's not working. It didn't pick up the thing. That's unfortunate. Oh well, no head tracking. Forwards and oops, second gear. Probably want some headlights. We probably want that one. Turn the passenger lights on. Not that one. No. This one maybe? Yes, gauge lights. And there's destination roll somewhere. There it is. Right, and we should also have, while it's loading, and you can hear it making its announcements there. YouTube is not receiving enough video to do smooth streaming. It doesn't say I'm dropping any packets. Oh, yes I am. I'm dropping frames like crazy. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. And my chat disconnected. Okay. Are we back up and running? Are we streaming live? Is it working? Or is it dead? Anyone? Looks like it's stopped dropping packets. Yes, it stopped dropping packets. Looks like we're okay. Okay. Cool. Okay, that was a little bit of a panicky moment. Now, let's just check outside, because I've just been told to go by my guard.
Yeah, everything's going.
So we have headlights there. And we have marker lights on the back. Very good. And I still have no head tracking, which is boring. Oh, at least my horn's working today. That's better than yesterday. My horn wasn't working because RW Enhancer does something weird with Rail Driver. Alright, off we go. Yes, that's an excellent question, Antcraft. What's the point of it then? it does two things. It's got a much nicer HUD than the Train Simulator one, which I think is a bit, yeah. But I guess the other aspect of it is that it does announcements. At the moment, they're in English, German, or French. You can't do Japanese, which is sad. But it seems to do okay on reading out the Japanese names. And I'm sad my head tracker's not working. And what else have we got in here? NJT, what does RW Enhancer do? So it's making those station announcements. It's got almost the same graphic enhancements outside as what I used to run. This is a Kiha 40. Fairly well detailed for what is an older route. So it looks kind of nice. Sounds kind of nice. We're going a little fast. And we have to stop very soon. So put on some brakes because we're coming up to the next station. I have noticed the new version of RW Enhancer in the graphics has introduced a bit of flickering, which the old one didn't have, which I kind of don't like. Might have been a little bit too much break. So just catching up with the chat while we're coming in to stop. It is a really nice route, Ant-Man. I quite like it. I was having a bit of a play with it over the last couple of days. I picked it up in the sale, funnily enough. That lady has some very short shorts. That's okay. Alright. In they all go. And NJT says that he's here. Great. I'm glad. I have stopped dropping packets now. That's good. Antcraft said he wished the tooltip should show up quicker, though when hovering over switches. Much as I like Japan, sadly not too knowledgeable in Japanese. I do know the kanji for train station though. Oh, that's cool. One up on me. Ant-Man 65, considering RW Enhancer 2 for onboard and station announcements, post-processing effects, etc. Well, this is what I'm running. So if you do like it, it also does those little guard warnings and things. And it talks. And Antcraft says the new HUD is nice, and I was wondering what the announcer was. Yeah, the announcer's coming from RW Enhancer. Some of the other noises come from RW Enhancer as well. It actually changes the engine note, for example, puts more bass into it. I think on modern modelled routes I probably wouldn't use the audio features of RW Enhancer. Maybe the ones that do things like, I'm not doing a head tracking, but when you stick your head out the window, is it going to let me do it? No, it's not going to let me do it. Okay. But if you stick your head out the window, it gets louder, for example. So it's a bit like TSW2's functionality. The HUD, I think, is a bit cool. I think I'm broadcasting my cursor, I am. So it actually tells you what colour the signal is, for example, so that's useful. And yes, they are short platforms because it is a short train. It's only a baby. It's a little diesel multiple unit, and you can have up to 4 of them, but I've only seen 2 in the game. And yes, NJT, it does text-to-speech. It uses the Microsoft SAPI speech engine that's built into Windows.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
And that was RW Enhancer's announcement system. Hello, Chicago. I think the summer sale just finished. This thing has the most amazing brakes. They're really good. Oh, just missed a gratuitous bridge shot. See, I'm not used to the route enough yet. Did you do something naughty with music, Chicago? If you sign up to, oops. Let's try stop before we hit the paddles for the red. There we go, all good. If you put background music on it, that might be why. Or someone's tried to claim the sound of the wind or something like that, which does happen.
This train is bound for Aizu Bench. Calling it Aizu Hongo, Aizu Takata, Negishi, Nyatsuru, Wakamiya.
It doesn't do too awfully on the Japanese station names. Comes another one. Now we can change. Oh no, those points are already set. Good-o. Please, no, it's still doing the load, I think. It hasn't finished yet. Let's see if the doors are open. Yeah, the doors are still open. Glad I didn't move then. That would have been a quick game over. The other question is, why isn't my head tracker working? So it clearly is. Let's just start it again. Let's see if it'll just pick up the game or not. It's become decentered as well. There we go. Now, will it just pick up the game? No. And we've still got a lad to go. Shut the doors. I want to go. Or are we early or something? Must be early. We are early. It doesn't not due out till 13:16. Now please continue our journey after Aizu-Wakamatsu. Only manual junctions are installed. You need to change the track manually. Okay. Why aren't you accelerating, little train? What have I... Oh, I know what I've done here. I knocked you out of gear. Okay. Now, let's accelerate, little train. That sounds more promising. There we go. Catching up with the chat while this is departing. It wasn't blocked for no reason. It was blocked because you added copyright material. And the copyright material that's owned by Mattel, who are very vigorous about following it all up. Antcraft says, if you didn't know already, wondering where the stopping points are, they're the orange and red diamonds. Yes, and they're numbered for your train. So if we're... These ones. So this is what Antcraft's talking about. If it's a 2-car train, you stop at the 2-car point. And there's another one, well this one's got a signal so it won't have it, but there's another one that stops you going too fast so you don't foul the tracks. Away we go. You can't tell the stream members your Discord because you can't post links. You can tell him your Discord name if you want to. Enjoy the spam. I think I might have started Track IR after I started RW Enhance, before I started Train Sim, so it might have got a little bit confused. I put the wipers on then. I did. It's alright, they stopped again. Lovely spring day. Well, the other thing this thing does is it uses the weather. So this is a scenario with specific weather, so it doesn't, but if you're running quick drives, you can actually tell it to use the local weather and it'll copy it. What else have we got? Yeah, it's a bit sad that it's not picking up the game, but that's okay. And NJT has got an impersonator. He has 3 subs, but he has the same name and profile pic. The profile pic is lower quality though. He probably downloaded yours. And Ant-Man says it may require a restart for Track IR. Yeah, I think so. I haven't had too many dramas with switching windows with Track IR, but I do get the occasional issue where it doesn't notice the game. Ah yes, the TSW3 slip. Life. Poor JD. And yes, it does look like it's a thing. There's our nice cherry blossoms there. Pink ones. Probably plums instead of the white ones. Climbing uphill on our way to Aizu-Hongo. Now I've chosen the 4 scenarios quite deliberately to show all the different parts of the route. These are RW enhanced clouds too. They're not moving today, but sometimes they move. Actually they are moving, just really slowly. Gratuitous bridge porn. And Ancraft says it's been an interesting week, that's for sure. Yeah, it's definitely for JD, it's been an interesting week. I suspect the poor guy had a spanking. No one wants to be the guy who accidentally leaks it. That's always my fear when I'm streaming, that I show something that's not released. It always worries me, that one. I'm careful, but, you know, it can happen.
Someone's going to leak it.
Oh, perfect.
This train is bound for Aizu-Bench. Calling it Aizu-Takata, Negishi, Nyatsuru, Wakamiya.
Oh, I don't know how the release will work in JTE. I mean, if you look at their previous releases, or if they follow the TSClassic model, then the actual game update would probably be free. It's the route package that you'd pay for if you wanted it. A bit like Rush Hour. The game update was the freebie. You sit here at Aizu-Hongo for another 30 seconds. Clearly speeding. And Chicago says he's hoping Brad comes. I don't know who Brad is. There you go. Antcraft says the way he sees it, as long as the route's coming with a new version of TSW is different and you still have your old routes, then I don't mind, personally. And yeah, he hopes he doesn't get into too much trouble. I'm tipping it would have been an uncomfortable conversation for the poor guy. I do kind of feel for him. There we go. That's the other thing RW Enhance is doing, is it's pretending to be the guard. It's ringing the little bells and things. And Chicago's doing an emergency brake test since he's mimicking Australian air brake tests. Well, they're hardly Australian air brake tests. It's just what's required by the locomotive manufacturer. And the chimes do sound fairly good. I'd like more bing bongs, personally. And excuse me for sounding so stuffed up, too. If my nose gets much more blocked, I'm going to start sounding American. Yeah, I don't know, NJT, it's speculation exactly how that's going to work, but if it's like the Rush Hour update, then it'll be a freebie. If it's like going to TS from 2020 to 2, then did we pay for that? I don't remember. I know we paid to go to TS 2020. We're out in the countryside now. Big pine plantation over there by the looks. We've got a little while before we get to Aizu-Takada. Ooh, 80. You know this train's only allowed to do 60, right? Maybe I'll slow down a little bit. We won't have to wait so long at stations. Yeah, I think the Bing Bongs are a classic. I really enjoyed them. I do like watching the Japanese cab ride videos. Train drivers pointing at the signals. You can't see me do it. It blocks out my hand. And they read them back as though there's someone else in the cab with them. How did you see that? Let's do that again. There's my driver, and there's another one in the second carriage. The Bing Bongs are pleasant. If people haven't heard them, watch a Japanese cab ride video. They're really cool. Another little bridge. I'm not going to look at every little bridge because there's some amazing ones coming up later on. Yeah, that is kind of funny where the HST guy gets pulled over. Feels like we're going uphill, but the HUD says no. NJT says many rivet-haters are complaining that 484 doesn't have the right livery, like they didn't realise there was no licence for the livery. No, I think they realised it. They just couldn't get it sorted. But it still looks good. It's actually, if you look at a real video of the train and you look at their livery,
Next stop, Aizu-Takada.
they look rather similar. So one evokes the feeling of the other. So I think it'll be fine. And the only thing I'll tell you about it is that it's good. I won't go any further than that because I'll get my ass kicked. I don't want a conversation like the one JD had. Yeah, when we're working on the little railway that I run on, the driver and the second person, driver and fireman in the steam, driver and second person in the diesels, do talk to each other. We call out signals to each other. We call out things that the other one should see, just to make sure they have. Lovely. How close was that? It's not bad. Oh, I can be pretty happy with that. What's that? A meter off? I'm pretty happy with that. And we've got the other little ones too. So there's these ones, which tell you that your 2-car train stops here. And there are these ones, which if you go past that one, you've gone outside the station limits. And if it's near a set of points, you'll be fouling the points if you go past it. We've got a little while to wait here. Aircraft speeds, it's complicated, yes, licensing generally is, and the option for the real one isn't off the table like they said. It's just not a thing at the moment, yes. And delivery is pretty close. It's, yeah, I think they've done well, because delivery they've got evokes the real one, but not enough that they'd get in trouble. And it looks pretty good, and I think they've been pretty good about publishing what it's like this time too. And if you see their latest video on the Rivet channel, they've revealed where quite a few of the collectibles are, accidentally. They're learning, HATE. They've gotten a lot better. Them and Skyhook have both gotten a lot better. And they're both showing signs of fixing all of the past things, so that's good. I always kind of thought that the past things wouldn't get fixed because both Rivet and Skyhook are tiny companies. Skyhook is literally 3 people, Rivet's about 8, I think. Chicago asks, should he still do notch 3 and then 8? For passenger trains, yeah, that's fine. 3 to pull the slack out and then 8 to go. This one doesn't have that many notches. Excuse me. It's only a baby train. I guess these are rice fields. We're running on a causeway or an embankment, depending on what you would call it. On our way to Negishi. In freight, NJTE, I'd probably go notch 1 or 2 to pull the slack and just let that build up. But in passenger, because the trains are so short, there's no real reason why you can't go 3 and then straight to 8. Ancraft says the 484 looks so good though, the cab looks really nice, the other details of the train look really nice. Sound sounded decent from what little we heard. We hope it's good. They did use real recordings from the real train, so I think they'll be good. And I'm being naughty again. Look at that speed! Let's just get rid of a little bit of that before we derail this thing. This thing doesn't seem powerful at all when it starts off, but when it gets going, it's a whopper. I'm looking forward to showing it off. Reminds me, actually, I've got to change the date of its launch stream. It's actually on the wrong day. Now approaching Negishi. I won't try and change that date now because I'll just mess things up. Yep, that'll work, aircraft. Any passenger train, that sort of thing's fine. And it all depends on whether you've got any slack in the train. If you've stopped and you've bailed off your locomotive brake, that will have kept your train taut. Says he braking very, very, very late. But that's okay, it's gonna work. Hi. It's funny how the people in TS are better at avoiding each other than the people in TSW. Oh, I doubt they notch up before the doors are shut, Chicago. Yes, there is a black art to mixing sounds. It's a little bit like making an antenna. Anybody can make an antenna that will work. It takes someone truly clever to make an antenna that works really well. It's more art than science. We're now 30 seconds late, but it's not shut the doors yet. There we go. That's not what you said, Chicago. In Chicago, you said most passenger engineers start at 3 and then 8 after the doors are shut. So that implies that they go into notch 3 before the doors are shut, and then they go into 8 after the doors are shut. I doubt that a lot. You know your train's powerful when it's only just keeping up with the guy that's walking. But most DMUs are like this. They take a little while to get going. You're up to 548, Chicago. That's good. I think I topped 650 this morning. Let me look while this is accelerating. I think I did. $6.52. There you go.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu. We remind you that it is forbidden to smoke inside the station. Thank you for your understanding.
I think, Chicago, if you think that's what you said, you need to learn the art of commas. Commas are important. Yeah, it's been quite a year of growth. Last year was a bit slow, and this year I've had a couple of explosive growth spurts thanks to being featured on the Dovetail channel a couple of times. And then it's just been pretty steady with about 30 to 40 a month after that, so that's kind of cool. The squeaky chair sounds are RW enhancer as well. It rattles things and squeaks things. I kind of like that bit. You can stats settings, audio. These are all things you can turn on and off. the question is, was this once double tracked, or were they just planning on it double tracking it? They built the platforms accordingly. Yep, going past the side of being naughty. As long as I don't go past the next one, it's all good. Japanese trains don't have bells, Chicago. They have bing bongs. Yeah, thanks for getting in the way, dude. I'm going to call you Barry. I'm part of a photography club, and we always call people that get in the way Barry. That's because at one point, at one of our outings, this lady and her husband came along, and the husband's name was Barry, and he kept getting in her way, and she yelled out, "For fuck's sake, Barry!" So from then on, people who got in the way were called Barry, in true Australian fashion. Yes, NJT. But no, you can't stop Chicago. Yeah, it's possibly right, Aircraft. It might have been a passing loop. Because there's no signs of double tracking out here, outside of those areas. Wait for the train. We'll see how bad this gets. It might have been going a little bit fast. Nope. That might have been a little bit quick. Chicago says PC always crashes at South San Francisco. It needs to stop and be investigated. I haven't had Peninsula Corridor crash, Chicago. Give me some services to try, and I will. I'm not saying it doesn't. Give me some example services. NJT says it's a potato computer moment. No, it's more a potato driver moment. And I should probably go back into forwards, or this will be embarrassing.
This train is bound for Aizu-Wakamatsu.
And Ant-Man65 says cloud formations are nice, but he prefers the AP weather. Yeah, I think they probably would sack me, Antcraft. So you're running 232, Chicago. Which direction? To or from? And are you getting an Unreal Engine crash? Because if you are, log a support call and add the log files in. In the Unreal Engine crash page, there'll be a link to the log files in a folder. Just zip them up and add them to the support call. Now, are you travelling away from San Francisco or to San Francisco? And are you running an F40 or the Baby Bullet? Okay, so you're running away from San Francisco. Don't just press the send button on the crash screen, because they don't actually go to the developer, they go to Unreal. Running the Baby Bullets, okay. They are indeed very strict, Aircraft. I was watching a video the other day where, as the train was crashing into a car which had strayed into a crossing, and the driver had applied the emergency brake, he was on the PA while doing that, apologising for the very harsh braking. So they're quite amazing, Japanese railways. Isn't that nice? I hope I have a nice day. Safety system telling me there's a red signal coming. But I'm going slow enough that we'll be fine, I think. Although I am speeding up, which is bizarre. And you know why that signal's red? Because I haven't done something yet. Junctions here are Manuel.
Stopped. For your safety, please do not try to open the doors and remain seated in your seat. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, I watched a documentary about that one a while ago. About how the training program actually caused a guy to derail. And Chicago's brought us back to Metro again. They're a very interesting culture when it comes to accountability. If you've done something wrong, you must admit it. And I'm 3 minutes late. Oh no! We go through retraining regularly on our railway. We have every 5 years there's a theory exam. Every 2 years there's a practical exam. Every 2 years there's a medical. That man's walking on air. Very good. Scenario incomplete. Okay, now what we can try and do here is we can try and get my head tracker back. If I go back to Train Simulator, main menu, quit. And then when I start it up, it should, what are we running next? We're running Colourful Forest in Autumn Time, and we're going to be going from Aizu-Wakamatsu to Aizu-Bang. That one. Now, hopefully, Track IR will start working. And hopefully, Rail Driver won't stop working.
In theory, it should.
Yeah. And Ant-Man likes RW Enhancer. There you go. I'm not 100% sold on it myself yet. I kind of like it. But I really wish it did these things by itself. And we're doing Colourful Forest in Autumn Time. I mean, Train Simulator has got an API, and you can start and stop services, so I don't know why they haven't. Begin service. Autumn wind bleak, layers of forest dyed green, gold, yellow, and red in the sunshine. Traffic along the dense valley. I'm going to open the doors while I'm talking. Get on board the train. Enjoy the colourful autumn along the Tadami Line. Please check your path and change tracks manually. That looks like a good excuse for a screenshot, doesn't it? Because maybe it'll reflect. If I come out far enough, we should be able to see the train. Ooh, that is too.
In Tadami, its final stop.
Ah, it's working! Yay!
We wish you all a pleasant journey aboard our train.
I think that's
There
me.
you are. Just.
And we just check and make sure those doors are shut, and they are not. I was about to drive away then. It's a good thing I didn't.
Make sure your points are set.
They are now. Yeah, it's interesting, Antcraft. I have seen that kind of discussion before. So is that my train or is that the other guy's train? No, that's my train. That hasn't shut its doors yet. Eventually it will. No, 1503 it goes. Okay. Yeah, I have seen the documentaries about them working too hard and getting a bit sad. And yes, that late train is unacceptable. And Chicago says that Asian trains are so crowded with commuters even after 9 AM and even at midnight. Have you ever left the United States, Chicago, apart from when you lived in Israel? Most trains are pretty crowded. And I think you'll find the only country where people stand on the roof is India, and even there it's almost doesn't happen anymore. Let's go look at this bridge while we wait. Oop, out of the water. That's a pretty cool bridge. There's a lot of cuckoos. Distant scenery is nice here in the mountains. We've got 18 seconds to go. You never want to leave US soil. Well, that's sad. Actually, no, I haven't done a few things, have I? Put the brakes back on. Because I need to set this train up, because I was sitting here all this time going to look at bridges, like a twit. Better give our passengers some lights. That one. And that one. And that one. Right. Now the horn doesn't work. Rail driver horn not working now. Have to use keyboard. I would definitely encourage you to go and explore. You'll find it's rather different to what most Americans expect. So I definitely encourage you to go out and explore the world. When I'm reading the chat, I have to pause the track IR. So yeah, I agree, Antcraft. Definitely not in places like Japan and China and South Korea. It's just not going to happen. People don't get on the roofs there. Chicago remembers a disturbing video when a dinky train hit a 41-year-old woman at 65 miles an hour. Well, you probably shouldn't watch things like that. I'm not sure if NJT is calling me ignorant or Americans, but anyway. You should definitely aspire to travel. It's an important thing to do. Because you really do need to see what the rest of the world's like. America, for example, have this concept of the World Series, but they don't invite the world. It's kind of funny, when I lived in the States, the Olympics were on while I was there. A lot of the people I worked with were surprised that there were other nations at the Olympics. They couldn't quite figure that out. At least now I can glance down at my speedo. As we travel along the lake here towards Huna. And the different parts of this route are all very, very different from each other. Oh, bridge pond. Bridge pond. That'll do. I know, I'm sad. Approaching Huna. I agree, Handcraft. If you don't leave your home country, you won't learn very much about the world at all. and Craft's been to the US and Mexico, which funnily enough I have too. I've yet to go to the UK though. We were thinking about doing New York and some of the UK and maybe some of Europe next year, but airfares at the moment are just a tad ridiculous. What was $1,800 a couple of years ago is now about $3,800. So we'll just have to wait till it calms down a bit. This first station, I'm already late. Spending too much time looking at the scenery. This is a very short platform. Only one car, I think. Excuse me. You getting on, bud? And Chicago says he doesn't want to fly because it takes too long. You should try living in Australia. It's 26 hours to New York. Too late, dude. Sorry. Gotta be on time. We've got cheap airlines too, but they generally don't fly really long distance. Plus, when you're flying that far, it's worth paying a bit more so you get looked after. Because it's a long, long, long trip. By the time you actually arrive, leaving Melbourne, by the time you arrive in New York, you've been awake for 32 hours. Assuming you didn't sleep on the plane, which I always have trouble with. Oops. Big dam. I think we'll leave Japan alone now at JTE. I don't think there are any countries with particularly good human rights histories. It's a pretty long tunnel. Yeah, it depends where you sit, Antcraft. If you can afford to sit in front of the engines, yeah, they're quite nice. The 787 Dreamliner is very quiet inside. Definitely encourage people to travel. It can be a bit scary when you're going to a place you've never been before, but well worthwhile. Thomas is his downstairs best friend. I've lost count of what I've flown on. Done way too many trips for work. There's still a few Queen of the Skies flying, but not many. Subway car would make a good model railway shed. They're small enough that you could fit them in a backyard. I didn't know they were still building 747s. I thought they were all done. This is clearly uphill. Yeah, that's it, Brad. If you're ever going to New York, fly Qantas QF11. Oh, once you open the doors. Is this not where I'm supposed to stop? Or do I have to move ahead a little bit, maybe? Oh, actually, I know what it is. I think the front of that car's probably not... Oh, no, it is in the platform. Well, okay. Apparently recorded that as a stop. Let's have a see if it did. It never opened the doors. Yeah. No, it hasn't recorded it. Because it won't open the doors. Let me try and put the second car in the platform and see what happens. The reason I like QF11, Brad, is it's one flight from Melbourne to New York effectively, but it's 3 planes because you fly out of Melbourne and you get off in Sydney. They gather up all of the QF11 people and put you in a bus and take you to through international. They walk you through all of the customs and immigration and everything, and they put you on the plane to America. You land in LA. They round up all the people that are going to New York, and they take you around to customs and immigration. And you pick up your bags and dump them on from one. Pick them up one carousel and dump them on another one. And they walk you over to the flight in New York. You've only got about 20 minutes to get from one flight to the other one, but it's all controlled and they manage it really well. Right, now it will have registered as a task. Let's have a quick look. Just make sure it ticked off. Yes, it did. Good. And away we go. Yeah, that'll be unexciting aircraft. They've run some trial flights. They arrive on JFK on fumes on their true trial flights. The first one declared a fuel emergency as it approached JFK. And the second one declared they were at minimum so that they couldn't divert. They had to land. Yeah, I don't think we'll be going next year with the current airfares. Those trees are floating, aren't they? Look, floating tree. Oh well. My worst transfer ever was in Thailand. It's a flight to India. And there are 200 and something gates in Thailand. And I had about 15 minutes to transfer from one plane to the other one. And I arrived at gate 1 and I had to go to gate 200. I had to run a long way. I have landed at Chicago. I didn't get off the plane though. NJT asks whether it's M-Train or Connex, and Brad has answered yes, it's all Melbourne Metro. And Yarra Trams. And Metro trains are still privately operated, but Yarra Trams are not. It's a government. Just pretending to be private.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu. We remind you that it is forbidden to smoke inside the station.
My landing in Chicago was unpleasant. We're supposed to be flying to New York, but there was a snowstorm, so they diverted us to Chicago. And there was snow in Chicago too, and we were just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there and sitting there for hours before we left and went to New York. Most unpleasant. I suspect, Mr. Chicago, that F40s will get replaced by the more modern, cleaner running diesels, and they won't belong to this world. Aircraft says did the one from LHR to Sydney in the simulator back when they did the trial flight. Departed at 6 a.m. and didn't land until 2 a.m. the next day. That was quite a flight. That'd be a long time to sit in the simulator. But each to his own, I guess. I wonder why there's a big shed here and the station's not in it. Maybe there's a goods yard here at some point. Looks like there's a siding. It's not connected to the main line anymore though. Going to put the second carriage in the platform like I did before, because that let the doors open. That doesn't sound like the brakes are going on. They are now. They weren't when I was outside. No, we will have to go backwards. I suppose the plane's on autopilot, isn't it? Let's try there. Even though it's telling me I can leave, clearly I can't. No, can't open the doors there. Let's go back a little bit further. Try there. When it eventually stops. You gonna stop or not? Yay! But it's still moving. Why are you moving? Right, now the brakes are on. I got very confused then. It's still moving. What's it doing? It's just sliding down the tracks. But it hasn't detected it's moving, so it hasn't failed me. I had no brake pressure then. Oh, of course we're going backwards, because I'm clever. See? Clever. That's better. Now we're going forwards. Oh, we've got lots of chat going on there. Chicago says run like Millennium Force, because also screams along the way to Chicago. Yeah, that's just strange. And they could let the passengers leave and take the Lakeshore Limited to New York. No, they wanted us on the plane. When they want you on the plane, you don't get off. And Brad says that he doesn't have an opinion about the old train network because it's gone. Very much is. It's not too bad today, I find. And Chicago says Metro will still get F40s from Caltrain, but they'll keep the current models and overhaul the first 28 locomotives. Yeah, I reckon they're getting a bit desperate buying second-hand trains from California, personally. And Antcraft checks on the plane every now and again, but it's fine most of the time. And Richard Law Bidishta did the same earlier this evening, backwards. Yep, that's good fun, isn't it? When you forget things like that. How are we going map-wise? Where are we? All the way up there. But it's a big, big route. So we did that part before. Now we're doing this part. And soon we'll do the bit in the middle.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu. We remind you that it is forbidden to smoke inside the station. Thank you for your understanding.
Bridgepoint. This is certainly the route for the bridge pawn. We're heading into Aizu-Wakamatsu. And I'm a minute late because of all that mucking around at the last station. I went from being on time to a minute late. I will be apologising to my passengers for my tardiness. Maybe he blocked you, Chicago? Will they open? Yes! Richard asks, do I have any thoughts on the rumoured TSW3? My only thoughts are poor JD. An uncomfortable moment for the guy. I see there's plenty of speculation about what it would and wouldn't be. And all of that is just stuff people are making up. Or people who want it to be something. Oh, look, the clouds are moving now. It's kind of cool that the clouds are moving. I like that. That's RW enhanced, by the way, not train sim game. I have a pretty simple philosophy when it comes to things that are coming in the future. They will be whatever they are. And if I desperately want to try and influence it to be something, I will. May not get anywhere, but I'll try. It has recordings of Japanese people talking in the carriage, but there's no people. .6 kilometers.
Nobody there.
just while this is accelerating, the line opened in 1928 as the Aizu Railway. It was extended in 1941. In 1942, a new line opened called the Tadami Line at the other end. And in 1956, it reached Tadami. It's extended, and it reached Tadami in 1963. And in 1971, they connected the two lines and made this one. It became known as the Tadami Line. There you go. A bit of useless facts for you. Yes, that was people talking in the passenger view NJTE, and yes, Richard, very much. What will be, you're right. And Brad says, the speculation surrounding TSW amazes me. Are all games like that? Yeah, pretty much. You always get this dedicated community of people who are either trying to influence it, or they're trying to pretend that they know what's going on to look bigger and better than they really are. It's just quite normal. And that's all fine. There's nothing wrong with a bit of speculation. I think the only people I don't like that much in the trade sim community is that they hate one organisation ahead of all of the others and won't even look at what they make because they just assume it's crap. So they're not taking stuff at its face value. And the people that go, this bug's been around for ages, it's never been fixed. And you ask, have you reported it? And they go, it's never been fixed. And you go, well, clearly you haven't reported it. Maybe if you report it, and they go, well, they obviously know. They go, well, no, obviously they don't. If you want things fixed, you need to report them. I was trying to make up my mind if that was the end of the tunnel or another train coming towards me. I think it's the end of the tunnel. Another train would probably hurt. Oh, there's Rivet haters, there's Skyhook haters, there's the people who hate Mike, TSG. It's all kind of pointless, really. Back out by another big lake. That looks cool. It is a nice view. It's quite something to pull off a nice view in a simulator. I think TSNZ do quite well with their Midland route, and this one's quite nice too. This one doesn't seem to have the performance issues of Midland. More bridges. I have no idea if Japanese trains actually honk at crossings. In some cab ride videos they seem to do it, and some they don't. Maybe it depends where they are. It seems to not be recognising the brake when I'm out of the train, but it recognises the throttle. It's strange. Did we get the second carriage in the platform? No. It releases the brake. And the rail driver reverser doesn't work with this train, so I have to do this.
Our train is currently stopped.
Yes, it is. Not anymore. Little bit of an overshoot. That worked. What can we explore here? Mountains, mountains, and more mountains. That's not too bad of you. You'd be happy if you hiked all the way up there. You'd hope they'd go off by now. Alright. Time to go. Says he looking at the rail driver and forgetting to press the key that stops the head tracker following me. Oh, I've done it again. You reckon I would alert the first time, wouldn't you? Yeah, I don't get the hate in JTE. I understand that people were disappointed with their products, and that's fine, but, you know, everyone learns. They've all been getting better.
Nope.
I eventually went the right way, Michael. Another massive bridge.
Eventually.
There's a lot of crows here. Coming up on Aizu-Wakamatsu. Must be where all the gamers play. Yeah, it's true, Ant-Man. They were quite successful with TSC. Still are. But I think lately they've picked up quite a lot.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
So in TSW world, they're doing quite a bit better now. And that they're having a look at the 150 was good news. All the work that they've done on the Island line, both the old one and the new one, it would have been easy to just bail on the old one. I might have been JTE. They're being attacked by rampant autumn leaves. bit like pin number, isn't it? Train Sim World. Somewhere around here there's a station. Here it is. Finally found it. I'm still a minute late. We've got a 30 zone coming up. I think before then I'll just have to make up some speed. Here's a nice little village, NJT. Tunnel time. Long tunnel. Funny, isn't it? I went to a lot of effort to make sure my chair and microphone and things don't make any squeaky noises, and now I've got a thing that puts squeaky noises in the game. There's an irony there. Big bridge. Very big bridge. We're approaching the end of the line. No people. Back up to 60 as we climb to Tadami, which we're not going to arrive on time. Almost there. Then after this one, we're going to run some winter. Because we can. Only a red light can make it to Tadami. Let's have a look at the map.
In a few moments, our train will arrive at Tadami, our terminus station.
Probably just
Please make sure you haven't forgotten any luggage
points.
or personal belongings on the train.
Yep, it is points. There we go.
We hope you had a pleasant trip and we wish you a nice day.
Here we are at Tadami. No bing bong bing bongs? Ah, there we go. Stop marker's right in front of a red signal. How handy. End of the line. Yeah, do I have to change his points back or will it just work? I'll change it back for him. I'll be nice. Otherwise he might not leave. Very 1960s. Anything in the shed? No. Well done. Time for some winter. Alright, Winter Wonderland. Start. Away we go. So this one goes from Aizu-Wakamatsu to Aizu-Kawaguchi. In winter, though there are charming birds, let's just get the doors open. Flowers in spring, no spectacular lightning and thunder in summer, and no attractive fruits in autumn. It's also the implicit beauty dedicated to nature. Today in the snowy morning, get on board a Kia 40 and enjoy the magnificent frozen scenery along the Tadami Line. Please check your path and change track manually. Come on, you. There we go. Come on, switch. Good. Wipers. That work? Huh? There we go. Thought I had the doors open. Ooh. Got marker lights on.
Bound for Aizu-Wakamatsu. Calling head. Aizu-Gamo. Aizu-Shizuwa. Aizu-Oshio.
That's all right, gone. That's better.
Hana. And Aizu-Wakamatsu its final stop. We wish you all a pleasant journey.
And I think we can go. There we go. You reckon she'd be cold, wouldn't you? Wearing the short shorts in the snow. She just walked through a pole. That's impressive.
A tad.
Seem to always start with 400 litres of fuel. Cool. I didn't know TS throws up snow. I wonder if it's RW Enhanced doing that or if it normally does it. Big breach coming. Damn trees. That'll why I keep taking all these screenshots. Now approaching Aizu-Wakamatsu. Looks like we lost Chicago. He's never been quiet this long before.
Who's never been this quiet before?
Chicago's never been this quiet before. I think he's gone.
Oh. Yeah, so he has. God, he'll be back.
See how well it stops in the snow. It's going to be a second carriage stop, I'm tipping. It does slide a little in the snow. Something tells me that won't open, so I will just back up a little. And this time I'll try to remember.
For your safety, we invite you not to leave your luggage unattended and to report to us any package or object that you think is suspicious. Thank you for your vigilance.
Right, well that's happening.
Our train is currently stopped.
Put it back and forwards.
For
Yeah.
your safety, please do not try to open the doors and remain seated in your seat.
No, I want them to get
Thank
off.
you for your attention.
Ignore the lady, just get off. Five seconds to go, and then I'm going to be late. Squeaky wiper. I was about to say no one's getting on or off, and then someone materializes. Another one. Too late, missed it. I've lost internet. Sorry for the pause there, folks. Lost internet momentarily. Looks like we're back. I think. No, we're still having problems.
Still streaming.
Yeah, I think it's still going, but something weird's happening. I haven't rebooted the modem in a while. Maybe it's time. Ooh. And while I'm busy trying to figure out what's going on with the stream, YouTube's still complaining it's not getting enough data, but I don't seem to be dropping any packets anymore.
Next stop.
But I am getting...
We remind you that it is forbidden to smoke inside the
Yeah,
station.
it seems to be still going. All good. The joys of the internet. Next stop. I like the wheel flame grumbling. Wheel flange. Add a gear on? No. I wonder if I'm just slipping at the moment. Oh, you're back, Chicago. We noticed that you were gone.
Or just simply briefly indisposed.
I'm sliding. I don't have a lot of traction. I'll pull forward and make it a second carriage stop. When I just slid before because the speedometer was reading 0, but we were moving. Let's try that. No, not far enough. Let's try that. No, further. Try that. It's not going to let me open the doors. There are times when you just give up, really. Off we go. Sorry, lady.
Not your day.
No, not my day. When was the Kia 40 made? Interesting question. Let me find out for you. Because it does actually tell you in the manual, which I'm having a look at the moment, while this thing very slowly accelerates. The Kia 40, they were built 1977. 1977 and 1982. There were 888 of them. So there you go. It's the only problem with having head tracking when you pick up a drink. It doesn't say they're not Chicago, but I don't really know. Wouldn't surprise me. Tunnels that you can drive through. I think Horseshoe's had some steam fairly recently, hasn't it? Map-wise. In the middle. Great surprise there. About to come out of this tunnel. Up to Aizu-Wakamatsu. whiteout conditions now. It's like outside the train. Not much different. I think I better brake a little earlier this time.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
It's very white out there, isn't it? Well, all DMUs are going to have things in common, Chicago. They'll all have similarities. Much snow indeed, JT. That's why I'm braking rather cautiously. Yeah, I know that feeling in JTE. JT was just pointing out that at this point in a stream he often runs out of what to say. I'm not sure I've ever watched one of your streams at JT. I'll have to see if I've got notifications turned on for you. Will the doors open? Yes! Just while that's doing its thing, what have we got coming up? Bing, bing. I'm not sure, Chicago, to be honest with you. Look, apparently I'm live. But, coming up, there is... I think I just had a snot bubble. Sorry about that. TSClassic Long Island Railroad will be coming up on the 14th. That's Australian 14th. And I'll be streaming that one. Well, it's not yet confirmed, but I should be streaming that one before its public release by about 9 hours or so, I guess. And then after that, we've got that's a first look, and then there's a long play on the 17th, and then coming up after that on the 19th will be a first look for the 484 and the new Isle of Wight route, and then there'll be a long play for that on the 24th, and then if nothing else gets released, we'll do Metra on the 31st. About time, says Chicago. Bastard. Been promising it for ages.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
Big bridge. Oops. Big bridge. You know what I think? You know what I think will happen, Michael? He'll have nothing to say. The one opportunity that would be the right time to give us 1,000,001 facts about Metra, Chicago will get stage fright and he'll clam up. Full whiteout, can't see the station at all, even though it's only 400 and something meters away. Well, there it is. You can bring your friends along to Chicago, or not. Extra people to watch. As we gently cruise into Aizu-Wakamatsu. I think so. Will they open? No. Alright, let's move up a little bit. Try that. No. Let's try a bit more. Yay! Just while that's happening, I'll be right back. Ready to go yet, I see. It just occurred to me I should probably move my mute mic button on the stream deck because it's right under the stop streaming button. I could accidentally push stop streaming. That would be funny. Now I seem to be sitting higher than I was before. That's okay. I'm sure you can download TSW2 sound mods. My door's shut? Oh, they are. I'm just sitting here doing nothing. Off we go. More power. I like the little watch. It's even right. Look at that. No passengers still. Lots of snow blowing out the back there. It's a cool thing about track IR, you can stick your head out through the window. If you can... Look, you can look through the front of the train too. They never expect people to be able to look through there, so they don't block it. .5 Ks to Aizu-Wakamatsu. And we are going down gradient. With a thing that looks like a tunnel, but doesn't look like a tunnel. It's a very short tunnel. What if that was a miscellaneous random tunnel portal that shouldn't really be there?
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
It's interesting, there are 6 people live and there are 61 people watching it behind the time. Brakes on. Isn't it funny how it's all Japanese characters, except the B for brakes? That's just weird. That, for some reason, was very quiet, Michael. Just turned you up a little. Hello. You know, I stopped right on the money
And the doors aren't open. Let's try that.
Come on, brakes, go on. There we go. That sounds better. Go away. No, I don't want to cancel my service. What sand mods are you planning on downloading, Chicago? Off goes the little train. It's a bit of a slideshow back there, frame rate rise. .6 k's to Honor. Two more stations to go. Cruising along through the very cold forest. Tunnel time. They collect the beaver. 2.3 Ks to Honna. A bit more tunnelicious going on.
Next stop, Hana. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
It's a pretty big tunnel. What is that big dam? Nice. Nice gentle approach into Hana, so we don't go sliding. Ooh, Japanese vending machines. Look like boring vending machines to me. You can buy anything in a Japanese vending machine. Heading towards the end of the line, and then we've got one more run to do. Now let's see why that signal is red. My guess would be supposed to be going into. Ooh, messed that up. Yes, we've done Hana. Aizu-Wakamatsu 1. So
So we're going to go into the right platform, that's fine. I'm going a bit fast and I'm getting a penalty break now. Which I have no choice about. Oh well.
Our train is currently stopped. For your safety, please do not try to open the doors and remain seated in your seat. Thank you for your understanding.
I violated the safety system then. If the green bars meet the yellow bars, it stops you. So it did. I'm a sucker for reflections. We still have a red signal on the way into that station, which is weird. There's another train arriving there. Why do we have a red? Oh, this is the RW Enhance HUD. The TSC one's still there. Figure out why this signal is red, because I don't think it should be. This could be an early end for this scenario, because as far as I can tell, this is where we're supposed to go. Aizu-Wakamatsu 1, which is that platform. Unless it wants me to go in there. Apparently it wants me to go in there. Oh, can I change this back now? That confused it. Come on, little train. You can do other things with the HUD too. So I can turn on... maybe I can't. What's the other things I can turn on? Oh, there we go. Speed limit widget. Compass. quite there yet. That should be it. And if I set his points, he can probably leave. That's the end of this run, and we're going to go back to Spring Thunder, apparently. You did not complete the scenario successfully. Yes, I know. Your service is finished. Awesome sauce. But I have to go back to Train Simulator. Because if I don't get out of there, we're going to go to Spring Thunder. So back to RW Enhance. There it is. This is our last one for today. Spring Thunder. Drive now. Start. Begin. Good rain knows its time bright. It will fall when comes spring. With wind it steals in night. Mute, it moistens each thing. O'er wild lanes dark cloud spreads. In boat a lantern looms. Dawn seas saturated reds. The town's heavy with blooms. Now get on board the train heading west. Blah blah.
Aizu Nishikata and Aizu Miyashita its final stop. We wish you all a pleasant journey. Platform 2. Train number 69 departure to Aizu Miyashita at 17:01. Please stand out of the doors.
All right. Oh, I have a red signal. Should probably do something about that, shouldn't I? Being attacked by rampant cherry blossoms. It's time to wipe out a car. Is it going to hit him? Oh, how close is that? If you're wondering what noises RW Enhance is putting in, I can... Oops, I'm going to zoom in like that. Audio. And I can turn things off. See, it's much quieter.
2.7 k's to Tadami. They promised thunder and lightning in this one, but I don't see any. At least the headlights work. Cool thing about track IR is you can turn to watch around corners, not just have to put up with the view.
Next stop, Tadira.
Look out, he's taking drugs on stream.
You know you gotta share.
There you go, Chicago. Have a look at that. It makes mods much easier. This must be a very steep hill. They have maximum climb on here. Maybe I should change into the other gear.
Girl. Oops.
I think we just met Michael's cat. This gear's even slower. Oh, yeah.
Yep. She's already been fed, but she's just looking for attention.
It's a cat thing. .6%. I wonder why the RW Enhanced one's not showing. Why it's not showing gradient. Maybe that doesn't work. I can't change it anyway. Oh, it's part of the speedo. Oh yeah, 2.6% up. So we don't see it in the track monitor. Boring. We're not getting far, are we? More brakes. Back to first gear. Let's see if I can climb now.
Our train is currently stopped.
No, it's not. It's going
For your
backwards.
safety, please do not try to open the doors and remain seated in your seat.
We're moving again. It's better than the other gear. That's better. Once it gets moving, I'll try and change to the other gear again. Was that enough? Or are we going to slow down and die again? We're slowing down again, I think. I think we're going to have to stay in first gear. Oh, we're still slowing down. Yeah, first gear it is. Looks like you're not meant to make the throttle off when you change gears. It worked that time. Although I think we're still slowing down a little bit. But we're nearly there. We're only 4 minutes late. What's the problem? Yeah, it is, but I would expect the HUD to be showing us the gradient. I'm kind of sad that it doesn't. We shall feed that back to them. They've only got about 250 customers for this, so they have to keep the first ones happy. Because they can obviously get the current gradient because they show it on the speedo. Welcome to Terra.
This train is bound for Aizu Miyashita. Calling it Aizu Sakamoto, Aizu Yanaizu, Godo, Kiha, Aizu Hanohara, Aizu Nishikata. This train is currently running with a delay of 5 minutes. We apologize for the inconvenience.
green. Excellent. Just what you need in a steep territory. And a train without Sanders. Ah, thunder. Excellent. Still speeding up very slowly. Getting a bit more speed now. Into the tunnel of love. Clearly we're going downhill now. To slow down before it gives me a penalty.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
We're doing a spirited run to try and make up some time.
Service should be going. Just a little bit late, but we picked up a minute. Some more spirited running is required. Well, that changed in a hurry.
Aww.
She's not that happy about being up there. She's friendly, but she hates being held, that one.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
In a nice little storm.
For business inside the station. Thank you for your understanding.
Japanese Railways wishes to apologise for the weather.
For which it has no control over.
They would apologise anyway, Michael. It's a good proper road. Now we're going to Godo. Good thing I built up some speed because we're about to go uphill again. I should just keep the power on this time. And now going downhill. Go figure. I'm reading the sign. Lots of rain.
Next stop, Godo.
Cat. I'm clearly going uphill. My spirited running came to an end. Four more stops.
off to Kiha. No, passengers. No shame.
Next stop, Kiha. Remind you that it is forbidden to smoke inside the station. Thank you for your understanding.
Apologies for the coughing today. Straight past the stop marker. But we'll get away with it.
Coughing? I didn't notice any coughing.
Really. Time to go. Not a gradient at all. Well, that one a bridge. Oh. Turn.
Next stop, Aizu-Wakamatsu.
Hello, wet people. Welcome to the dry train. Oops, we're out of gear. I think it was the other one. That's better. Ishikata coming up. Where's the bridge? There it is.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Where's our station? Don't know what's worse, the whiteout or the rain. Touch to the right. Where's the sun coming from?
Station. Thank you for your understanding. We hope you had a pleasant trip and we wish you a nice day.
Weirdness. I wonder if it's a stop board or something like that. Wrong. Can't contact the signal, huh? Stop, 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 stop. Now, why is that at red? Let's play with all the other points.
Our train is currently stopped. For your safety, please do not try to open the doors and remain seated in your seat. Thank you for your attention.
I think it's broken. Oh well, I guess we're not going into our last stop. We'll just drive through it and go, spad. Because we have no way of contacting anybody. Will it span? That's the question. No, doesn't care. This brings us to the end of our journey today. Line up in the platform. This is me. Maybe. Yep. That's it. And that will be it for today. Apparently I finished it successfully. Very good. Well, okay. So, upcoming streams. We have TSClassic Long Island Railroad on the 14th, and that's in the evening for me. And then we've got a longer play on the same railroad on the normal Sunday morning next week. So enjoy, folks. Thank you very much for watching today and being a part of this. And we shall see you later. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I always like to get your feedback in the form of likes and comments because they help me understand what you want. Give the channel a subscribe and click on the tinkly things so you don't miss out on any new stuff. And thanks for your ongoing support. And please, be safe out there.